What is he?
Oh no, it's Ragiroth Enterprises!
I love to sing about the moon and the June and the springer. I love to sing about a sky of blue or a keyboard cue, anything with the...
How's it going, everybody? From Ragiroth Enterprises here with another Soul Calibur VI video. Now this is kind of different from what I usually do with Soul Calibur VI, where it's usually a reaction video or top 10 things I want in the game. This is actually kind of a theory based off some, I guess, recent news, if you want to call it that we got from the story trailer back at E3 last week. So we got a story trailer, and while we didn't really get any formal character reveals, we did kind of get to see some characters that haven't officially been announced yet in the story trailer, such as Astaroth, Cervantes, and Lizardman. Now, when you see Lizardman, you notice something that kind of upsets me, that he is no longer wielding two axes that he did in Soul Calibur V, when I guess they just called him Aeon. And looks like he's back to the sword and shield style he's had since, I think, Soul Calibur 1 and 2. Soul Calibur 3 and 4, he had like an axe and shield style. To me, this is a huge downgrade, in my opinion. Now, at the very least, maybe he's getting, like, kind of the fire breath and wings and all that stuff again. But, like, I always liked Lizardman. He was always one of my mains, but it wasn't until Soul Calibur 5 became, like, one of my real, like, favorite characters. And I've never heard of a game kind of recloning a character. Either this could very well be either, like, it's not, like, the main Lizardman. It could just be, a generic one, or maybe he kind of starts the game off with he has sword and shield, and then maybe he gets it later on in the game. And some people theorize, like, oh, maybe he'll kind of take Patroclus' style, so there's kind of a more gender neutral or male sword and shield style. I personally, that's cool, but I don't really care about that. I would rather have a unique weapon style than just a unique way of using a weapon style. To me, I think it is safe to say this is how he will play in the game, especially because, he's with like two other playable characters, and possibly three, because I think that might be Astaroth behind him, I don't really know. And, like, I know people are like, oh, well, since this is back in Soul Calibur 1, he didn't, eat that Spartan or whatever and become, I guess, how he is in Soul Calibur 5, with two axes and stuff. And yeah, that's true, but like, this is the time to kind of reinvent things and retcon, Like, can't you just have it like, oh, in this timeline, he finds that Spartan earlier and eats him earlier? Like, is that really that hard? It's not like you're changing it's not like you're changing a character's total identity or age or something like that. I think that's probably one of the easier things to fix. I just think it's silly. I understand, story is important, and it is cool that Soul Calibur takes it seriously, but I just think it's silly to kind of dictate on that a character should be recloned just because of it. But I was thinking, could it be possible that perhaps, while they're kind of recloning or maybe retooling Lizardman, could they maybe giving his fighting style to a different character? At least kind of the dual axis part, like maybe not the flying and the fire and all that. But so I first thought, like, oh, maybe they give it to a new character, but I feel like that would be kind of silly, because I think, part of something with new characters is they're using a fighting style that we've never seen before in Soul Calibur. And I feel like that was kind of part of Soul Calibur 5's problem, where most of the new characters were just replacements for characters that were using styles that already existed. Granted, this would be slightly better because at least the Lizardman would still be in the game. I guess it would be kind of a Soul Calibur 5 Kilik situation, where, he was in the game, but the staff wasn't really his fighting style anymore. It'd actually be kind of a reverse Kilik, now that I think about it. But, so I think that would be kind of silly. I would be okay with it, but it would kind of suck that just because they had to just, bring Lizardman back to Soul Calibur 1, Soul Calibur 2 days, they had to waste a new character with using a style we've had in the past. Then I was thinking, what if they maybe use it for a character that maybe was kind of similar to another character? And the first character that came to mind was Rock. Now, Rock is not a very popular character and has not been in the game since Soul Calibur 4. He might honestly not even come back for this game. The main thing that's probably helping him is the fact that he was in Soul Calibur 1. So he could very well be in this. I personally, I don't hate Rock, I don't dislike the guy, but to me he is just kind of there. The main issue with him is that he's a clone of Astaroth, or I guess I should say Astaroth is a clone of him, because Rock actually came first. He was in Soul Blade, for Christ's sake. The thing is, Astaroth is just so much more cooler and interesting than him. So it's kind of pushed him to the side. And yes, they did sort of mix him up a little bit. And I think Soul Calibur 4 or 3, I forget which one it was, gave him like kind of a mace as opposed to an axe. But it's like his general fighting style is still kind of that of Astaroth. Maybe with just a couple more grapples and stuff like that. And the reason I thought Aeon style could work for him is because, I mean, well, he would be going back to using axes again, but he'd be using it in a much different style. Astaroth would, you know, the fact he'd be using 2 smaller ones. And I mean, not only that, but it's like they probably be more tomahawks. And since and I know Rock isn't a Native American, but he looks and fights like one. Hell, Nightwolf from Mortal Kombat has actually used dual tomahawks before, regardless if they're physical ones or kind of ethereal ones. And the thing is, they could always be kind of bigger than the ones that Aeon used in Soul Calibur 5. Like maybe not, obviously not Astaroth size, but maybe a bit bigger. Because I think the one, I guess, issue with it is that while, you know, Aeon wasn't like the fastest character in the game, he wasn't exactly a kind of slow hulking character like Rock is, so it would be kind of strange for a character like him to be like that. But I feel like he would probably always be hunched over, kind of making him appear less like bigger and massive than he really is. And he would probably be like a bit slower and stronger than Aeon is. So he'd probably be kind of some kind of weird hybrid of, or I don't know, he could be faster, it could really go either way. I think he would probably be a bit slower though, but stronger. But yeah, I guess that would be kind of the main problem with that. It would, you know, he is one of the few like bigger characters in Soul Calibur 6, and this would kind of take that away from him a little bit. I mean, I personally would be okay with it, and I actually think in general it would make Rock a bit more popular and stand out a bit, because it's like most people, it's like, you know, most people don't think hate him. It's just that, you know, when you have Astaroth, you fight similarly to him. Astaroth is just a lot cooler and more interesting. I feel like this, people could enjoy both Astaroth and Rock, as opposed to kind of feeling like, you know, one is just clearly better than the other. And I'm sure there's still people like that anyway, because I mean, there's characters that in games that they're kind of play similarly, I'm like, oh, I kind of like them both. They're their own kind of different flavor. They're similar, but not everyone's like that, so I understand. But yeah, it would kind of help Rock stand out a bit, I think, a bit more. Make him more of, I guess, a berserker, which, funnily enough, is the name of the character that kind of took his style in Soul Calibur 2. You know, instead of, because I feel like the only thing I really know for him is yelling. And speaking of him, ideally, I actually think it would be better for Bangu to get this fighting style. The problem is, it's like, if we're going back this much in time, Bangu is probably just a little kid. Probably not old enough to fight. Now, unless maybe they retcon his age a bit, make him like Talum's age in Soul Calibur 2. Then he could be kind of, I guess, the male equivalent to Talum, using Aeon style minus, again, the fire breathing, flying, and all that. That would be cool. Just be kind of strange. But it's like, I know it's kind of my own impatience. I really don't have to wait like another game to go in time for him to be old enough. I guess another way they could work around this is if they're doing the whole time travel thing, and there's some characters like Grow, and maybe even Talum herself, you know, an older Talum, is going back in time. Maybe there's other characters that come with him. Maybe Bangu in Soul Calibur 5's time would go back and he would fight like Aeon. I don't see that happening. I think that would kind of solve the issue. So kind of, you know, so maybe Rock could still be in either his old style or maybe even another different style that suits him more. And Lizardman is kind of like how he was in Soul Calibur 1. I think that would fix everything, but I don't know if I see him doing that. You know, this whole thing is a very out there theory of mine, and that's even more out there. But yeah, like I really hope, you know, one of these theories is at least partially true, because it's, again, I like Lizardman, dual axes or not, but it is a huge step backwards in my opinion if he's going back to a sword and shield style. Even if he is kind of like Patroclus' style, I personally am still just not going to really care. I'd really rather have dual wielding weapons than a sword and shield or a weapon and shield. For me personally, I don't know how others think. And then before I go, I wanted to mention my friend Joshua Braffman's book, Skull Star Productions. I'll put his link in the channel below. He's been in a couple of my videos before. He just recently released this book that he has been working on, I think, for at least a few years. It is called Sanctum Wasteland Correspondent. Seems like it's kind of a dystopian story. Here's a picture of it, a picture of the cover art. It's about $20 on Amazon. I'm going to put a link to it in the description below, as well as a blurb of what it's about. I guess consider this as kind of a replacement, at least a temporary replacement for me plugging my friend Marking Arts channel in the description below. But like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. It's a free country. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Would you be fine with Lizardman having a sword and shield style? You know, would you like another character to take Aeon style from Soul Calibur 5? Do you just want Lizardman to have his dual axes and be Aeon again in Soul Calibur 6? Let me know what you think. And as I always say, another time, another place. Keep being awesome.